The nurse's footsteps echo through the maternity ward like a metronome counting down the minutes of my old life. I'm propped up in the hospital bed, cradling our newborn daughter while Ryan stands by the window, his back turned to us, phone pressed against his ear. I understand. Yes, I'll handle it, he says, his voice carrying that familiar business tone, the one that used to make me proud, back when I thought his dedication meant security for our future. Sophia, I remind myself. I am Sophia, and this moment should be perfect. Ryan, I call out softly, come meet your daughter properly. He glances over his shoulder, offering what barely passes for a smile. Just a minute, honey. Critical deal closing. Our daughter's tiny fingers wrap around my pinky, and I study her face, searching for traces of the man I married 3 years ago. Her eyes are still that newborn blue, but I imagine they'll darken to match his. Will she inherit his ability to compartmentalize too? To slice life into neat little boxes that never touch? The door opens, and Dr. Martinez enters with her clipboard. How are we doing, Mrs. Chen? Everything's fine, I lie, watching Ryan pace near the window. Just perfect. The doctor's eyes flick between us, and something in her expression shifts. I've seen that look before. Pity mixed with professional detachment. She's probably witnessed countless scenes like this. New fathers more interested in their phones than their children. Your vitals are good, and the baby's doing excellent, she says, making notes. Have you decided on a name? Ryan finally ends his call and joins us, but maintains a careful distance from the bed. Emma, he announces as if he's naming a new corporate acquisition. Emma Chen. I stare at him, my throat tight. We agreed on Olivia. Emma's more professional, better for her future. The doctor quietly excuses herself, leaving us in a silence broken only by our daughter's soft cooing. Professional? I repeat, tasting the bitterness of the word. She's 6 hours old, Ryan. She doesn't need a LinkedIn profile yet. He checks his phone again, fingers tapping against the screen. Trust me on this. I've been thinking about it, and Emma has better networking potential. Studies show... Studies? My voice cracks. This is our daughter, not a focus group. Ryan sighs, running a hand through his perfectly styled hair. Let's not do this now. I have another call in 5 minutes with Singapore. It's Saturday. Money doesn't take weekends off, Sophia. He moves toward the door. I'll be back later. Need better reception. As he reaches for the handle, I notice something that makes my stomach lurch. A smudge of lipstick on his collar. Coral pink, a shade I've never worn. The same color I glimpsed on a tissue in his car last week when he claimed he'd been working late. Ryan, I call out, my voice steadier than I feel. Who's wearing coral pink lipstick in Singapore? He freezes, hand on the doorknob. For a moment, something like panic flashes across his face before it's replaced by his practiced neutral expression. What are you talking about? Your collar. I adjust our daughter in my arms, drawing strength from her warmth. It's quite the shade. Must be hard to find in business meetings. You're tired, Sophia. The hormones... Don't. The word comes out sharp enough to make our daughter stir. Don't you dare make this about my hormones. He straightens his tie, composure returning like armor. We'll discuss this later, when you're more rational. The door closes behind him with a soft click that sounds like the period at the end of a sentence. Our daughter begins to cry, and I hold her closer, whispering promises I'm not sure I can keep. It's okay, Olivia, I say, claiming her name as the first battle in what I suspect will be a long war. Mama's here, and Mama sees everything now. 3 weeks into motherhood, and our house feels like a museum of someone else's life. I'm arranging Olivia's clothes in the nursery when Ryan's voice drifts up from downstairs, that honeyed tone he uses for important calls. Of course I miss you too, he whispers. But we need to be careful. My hands freeze on a tiny onesie. The baby monitor picks up every word, broadcasting his betrayal in crystal-clear digital audio. A woman's laugh, tinny through his phone's speaker. The kids keep asking when you'll visit again. Kids. The word hits me like a physical blow. I sink onto the rocking chair, clutching Olivia's clothes to my chest. Soon, Ryan promises. I just need to handle some things here first. I want to storm downstairs to confront him with the evidence crackling through the baby monitor. Instead, I stay perfectly still, memorizing every word, every pause, every lie. The front door opens and closes. I count to 60 before heading downstairs, Olivia asleep in her bassinet upstairs. Ryan's in the kitchen, typing on his laptop like nothing happened. Busy day? I ask, keeping my voice light as I reach for a glass. He doesn't look up. The usual. That merger in Singapore is getting complicated. Singapore. The glass nearly slips from my hand. Right. How are the kids there? His fingers pause over the keyboard for a fraction of a second. What kids? My mistake. I fill the glass with water, watching his reflection in the window. Must have misheard something on the baby monitor. Ryan's chair scrapes against the floor as he stands. You're spying on me now? Spying implies secrecy. The baby monitor's hardly hidden. I turn to face him. Who has kids, Ryan? A colleague. He loosens his tie. His children are having trouble adjusting to the international school. Must be difficult, I say. All that adjusting, all those careful plans. His phone buzzes on the counter. We both look at it. The screen shows a message preview. Maya, missing you already. Ryan snatches the phone, but it's too late. The name burns into my memory like a brand. Sophia. Maya, I interrupt. Is she in Singapore too, or just her kids? This isn't what you think. Then explain it. I grip the counter to keep my hands from shaking. Explain why you're whispering to another woman about missing her while I'm upstairs with your daughter. He runs a hand through his hair, a gesture I once found endearing. Now it just looks calculated, like everything else about him. It's complicated, he says finally. Simplify it. I can't just... His phone buzzes again. He glances at it reflexively. Go ahead, I say. Answer it. Maya's waiting. This is exactly why I couldn't tell you. He snaps. You're being irrational. Emotional. Emotional? I laugh, and it sounds foreign even to me. Our daughter is 3 weeks old, and you're juggling another family like some sort of corporate merger. How should I feel? I'm trying to handle this professionally. Professionally? The glass shatters in the sink. I hadn't realized I was still holding it. Is that what you call this? Professional? Blood wells up from a small cut on my palm. Ryan takes a step toward me, then stops when I hold up my hand. Don't. My voice is steady now. Don't pretend to care now. Of course I care. You're my wife. And what's Maya? He checks his phone again. A reflex, a tell, a confession. I need some air, he says, grabbing his keys. We'll discuss this when you're calmer. Give Maya and the kids my best, I call after him. Very professional of you to keep them all adjusted. The door slams. I stand in the kitchen, blood dripping from my palm, listening to the sound of his car fading away. Upstairs, Olivia begins to cry. As I climb the stairs, my phone lights up with a text from my best friend Chloe. Coffee tomorrow? You seem off lately. I type back one-handed while soothing Olivia. Yes, there's something I need to tell you. The cut on my palm throbs, a steady reminder of shattered things. But as I rock my daughter back to sleep, I realize that pain can be clarifying. And clarity, I'm beginning to understand, is the first step toward revenge. Chloe's apartment feels like a confessional, all soft lighting and judgment-free corners. She sets 2 wine glasses on her coffee table while I check the baby monitor for the 100th time. Olivia's with my mother tonight. My first evening away since the hospital. Start from the beginning, Chloe says, pouring generously. There might not be enough wine for the whole story. I take a sip, then pull out my phone. But I have something better. Watch this. The video plays. Ryan in our driveway yesterday, helping 3 children out of his car. A girl, maybe 9, hugs him tightly. A younger boy trails behind, carrying a soccer ball. The smallest, another girl, rides on Ryan's shoulders. Chloe's hand covers her mouth. Those aren't his? No, they're Maya's. The name tastes bitter. But he's playing daddy to them while barely acknowledging Olivia. That absolute bastard. She pauses the video on Ryan's face. He's laughing, more animated than I've seen him in months. How did you get this? Our neighbor's security camera. Turns out Ryan's been bringing them over while I'm at my mother's with Olivia. To your house? Chloe's voice rises. That's... My phone buzzes. A text from Ryan. Working late, don't wait up. I show it to Chloe, who snorts. Working late? Is that what he calls it? Actually, I pull up another screen, a tracking app I installed on his phone while he slept. He's at 1456 Maple Drive. Want to take a drive? Sophia. Chloe hesitates. Are you sure you want to see? I need to know everything. I stand, grabbing my keys. You can stay if... Like hell, I'm letting you go alone. The drive takes 15 minutes. Ryan's car sits in the driveway of a modest 2-story house, warm light spilling from the windows. Through gauzy curtains, I can see figures moving inside. That's them, I whisper. His other family. A woman appears in the window. Maya, I assume. She's beautiful in an effortless way, younger than me. She's carrying a plate to what must be the dining room table. Family dinner, I say, my voice hollow. He never makes it home for dinner with us. The front door opens, and the oldest girl runs out to get something from Ryan's car. Up close, I can see she has his smile. Sophia? Chloe touches my arm. You're shaking. I want to go in there. My hand tightens on the steering wheel. I want to walk in and destroy their perfect little dinner. And then what? And then... My voice catches as Ryan appears in the doorway, calling the girl back inside. He's removed his tie, rolled up his sleeves. Comfortable. At home. A notification pops up on my phone, a bank alert. I open it, frowning. What is it? Chloe asks. He just transferred $5,000 to an account I don't recognize. I start typing frantically. 3rd time this month. Could be business? From our joint savings? I show her the transaction history. He's been moving money around for months, small amounts at first, now larger transfers. He's preparing for something, Chloe says slowly. As if on cue, my phone lights up with an email from our mortgage company. Payment overdue notice. That's impossible, I whisper, opening the email. Ryan handles all the... My voice trails off as I read further. What? He hasn't paid the mortgage in 3 months. The pieces click together with terrible clarity. He's draining our accounts and defaulting on payments. Why would he? Because he's planning to leave. The realization hits like a physical blow. He's setting up his escape with them. Through the window, I watch Ryan help the youngest girl cut her food. Such a devoted father to someone else's children. I'll lose everything, I say, my voice strange to my own ears. The house, our savings? No. Chloe's tone turns hard. You're not losing anything. We're going to destroy him first. My phone buzzes again, another bank alert, another transfer. You're right, I say, starting the car. But first, we need to visit my lawyer tomorrow morning, and then the bank. And then? I take one last look at the happy family scene through the window. And then I'm going to take everything from him, piece by piece, just like he's trying to do to me. As we drive away, I feel something shift inside me, like a switch being flipped from hurt to fury. Ryan thinks he's the only one who can play this game. He's about to learn how wrong he is. The lawyer's office smells like leather and privilege. I sit across from Miranda Wells, watching her review the financial documents I've gathered. Olivia sleeps in her carrier beside me, blissfully unaware that her future is being dissected by a stranger in an expensive suit. These transfers, Miranda says, tapping her screen, they're significant, and the pattern suggests premeditation. He's building a nest egg, I say, for them. Mrs. Chen. Sophia. Sophia. She leans forward. What exactly do you want to achieve here? Before I can answer, my phone vibrates. A text from Ethan, Ryan's colleague. Need to talk. Urgent. Coffee? I want everything, I tell Miranda, typing a quick response to Ethan. The house, full custody, and every penny he's trying to hide. That's ambitious. She studies me over her glasses. Especially given your current employment status. I have evidence of his affairs, the hidden accounts, and he has a high-powered legal team through his firm. She slides a document across the desk. He's already contacted them. My stomach drops as I read the letterhead. Harrison and Pierce, the same firm that handled his company's mergers. When? This morning. Miranda's expression softens slightly. He knows you're making moves. Olivia stirs, whimpering. I lift her into my arms, breathing in her baby scent for strength. I need to meet someone, I say. How quickly can you freeze our accounts? I can file for an emergency injunction today. She starts typing. But Sophia, be careful. Men like your husband, they don't respond well to losing control. 30 minutes later, I'm sitting across from Ethan in a quiet cafe, Olivia sleeping against my chest. His hands shake slightly as he stirs his coffee. I shouldn't be here, he says. If Ryan finds out... What's going on, Ethan? He glances around before sliding a USB drive across the table. I found these while backing up the company servers. Emails, transfer records, property documents. For Maya? And others. He won't meet my eyes. There's a pattern, Sophia. You're not the first. The drive feels heavy in my palm. What do you mean? 3 marriages, 2 in other states, 1 overseas, all ended the same way. Accounts drained, properties sold, women left with nothing while he moved on to the next family. The cafe seems to tilt sideways. 3 marriages? All with children involved. Ethan's voice drops lower. He has a type. Successful women with assets he can access. Once he's stripped everything, he disappears. My voice sounds distant, even to myself. And Maya, does she know? She's different, more involved. They've been planning this for over a year. Olivia makes a small sound, and I realize I'm holding her too tightly. I force myself to relax. Why are you telling me this? Ethan finally looks up. Because my sister was one of them. 5 years ago, He swallows hard. She didn't survive what he did to her. The implications hit me like a physical blow. Ethan, just be careful. He cuts in, standing abruptly. And Sophia, I was never here. I watch him leave, the USB drive burning a hole in my pocket. My phone buzzes. Ryan. Coming home early tonight, we should talk. Another message follows immediately. Everything okay with the bank? Notice some account issues. I stare at the messages, seeing them with new eyes. Every word feels like a trap, every gesture a calculated move in a game he's played before. The barista approaches with concern. Ma'am? Are you all right? I realize I'm crying, silent tears falling onto Olivia's blanket. But they're not tears of sadness anymore. Something harder, colder is crystallizing inside me. I text Chloe. Need your help. Tonight. Bring your camera. Then Ryan. Looking forward to it. I have something to tell you too. I kiss Olivia's forehead, making a silent promise. This ends differently. Not just for me, but for all of them. The women who came before, the ones who didn't survive his games. Miranda's words echo in my head. Men like your husband don't respond well to losing control. Good, I think, gathering my things. Because control is exactly what I'm going to take from him. Starting tonight, Chloe sets up her camera in our living room while I arrange the scene. Wine glasses on the coffee table, dinner warming in the oven, the USB drive from Ethan connected to our home computer. Waiting. You sure about this? Chloe asks, adjusting the lens. Once we start, he's already started. I check my phone. Another text from Ryan. Picking up champagne, special night. The doorbell rings. Not Ryan, he has keys. Through the peephole, I see Maya standing on our porch, wringing her hands. Hide, I whisper to Chloe, who slips into the study with her camera. Maya's prettier up close, in a soft, vulnerable way that makes my stomach twist. Is Ryan here? Not yet. I leave the door open just enough to block her entry. But you knew that. I need to talk to you. Her eyes are red-rimmed. About what he's planning. A car door slams down the street. Ryan's silhouette approaches through the gathering dusk. Inside. Quick. I pull her in, directing her toward the kitchen. Through there, stay quiet. Ryan enters moments later, champagne in hand, wearing his victory smile. The one I used to love before I understood what it meant. Sophia. He kisses my cheek, cologne masking a familiar perfume. You look beautiful tonight. Special occasion? The biggest. He starts uncorking the champagne. Where's Olivia? With Mom. I thought we needed privacy for our talk. The cork pops. He pours 2 glasses, pushing one toward me. I've been thinking about our future. So have I. I don't touch the champagne. About your other futures, too. His smile flickers. What? I open the laptop, turning it toward him. Documents fill the screen. Marriage certificates, divorce papers, death certificates. His past laid bare in bureaucratic detail. 3 wives, I say quietly. 2 divorces, 1 suicide. You've been busy. The victory smile vanishes. Where did you get those? Does it matter? What matters is what happened to their money, their homes, their children. I step closer. What happened to Ethan's sister, Ryan? A glass shatters in the kitchen. Ryan's head snaps toward the sound. Maya, I call out, you can join us now. She emerges, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry, Ryan. I had to tell her. About the house in Vermont, the school transfers for the kids. Maya. His voice turns gentle, practiced. We talked about this. Everything's arranged. Like it was arranged for the others? I pull up more documents. The pattern's obvious once you see it. Find a woman with assets, create a family, then strip everything away. Sophia. But Maya's special, isn't she? A partner instead of a mark. Until when? Until the money runs out? Until you find someone new? Maya makes a small, broken sound. The tickets. The ones you bought? What tickets? I ask. To Singapore. She looks at Ryan, realization dawning. But only 4 seats. You said we'd all go together. Ryan moves suddenly, reaching for the laptop. I snap it shut, backing away. Everything's backed up, I tell him. And forwarded. To lawyers, to the police, to your company's board. You're making a mistake. His voice hardens. You have no idea what I'm capable of. Actually, Chloe says, emerging with her camera, we do, that's the problem. Ryan's face contorts. He grabs my arm, fingers digging in. You think you can destroy everything I've built? No, I say, meeting his eyes. I think you did that yourself. One family at a time. The front door opens again. Miranda Wells enters with 2 police officers. Ryan Chen? One officer steps forward. We have some questions about the death of Sarah Matthews. Ethan's sister, I explain, watching comprehension dawn on his face. Turns out her suicide note mentions some interesting financial details. He releases my arm, backing away. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. I pick up the champagne bottle, studying its label. You know what the difference is between me and your other wives? The officers move closer. Maya sobs quietly in the corner. I saw you coming, I say, pouring the champagne slowly onto our wedding photo on the mantel. And I learned from their mistakes. As the officers lead him away, I catch a final glimpse of his face. Not angry or scared, but calculating. Already planning his next move. But I'm ready, because now I know. Revenge isn't about destruction. It's about survival. The bail hearing feels like a twisted reunion. Ryan sits at the defendant's table, wearing his most expensive suit and his victim's smile. His lawyer whispers something, and he nods, turning to scan the gallery. When our eyes meet, he winks. I grip Olivia's carrier tighter, feeling Chloe tense beside me. The defendant has substantial financial resources, the prosecutor argues, and a history of crossing state lines. My client has deep roots in this community, Ryan's lawyer interrupts. A newborn daughter, a successful business, multiple identities, I whisper to Miranda, who quickly passes a note to the prosecutor. The judge reviews the documents. Mr. Chen, these allegations are troubling. Your Honor, Ryan stands, voice steady. I'm being framed by a vindictive wife who's struggling with postpartum depression. I only want to protect my family. The word family echoes through the courtroom. Behind me, I hear Maya stifle a sob. Bail is set at $5 million, the judge announces. Ryan's lawyer immediately produces paperwork. My heart sinks. They were prepared for this. Already paid, Your Honor. As the courtroom clears, Ryan approaches. Miranda steps between us, but he speaks past her. You should check on the house, he says softly. Terrible things happen when security systems malfunction. Before I can respond, his lawyer hurries him away. My phone buzzes. An alert from our home security company, system offline. He's bluffing, Chloe says, but I'm already running. The house is dark when we arrive. Inside, every drawer is pulled open, contents scattered. Our wedding photo lies shattered on the floor, but the wall safe behind it is untouched. They didn't find what they were looking for. The USB drive? Chloe asks. Safe. I check Olivia's nursery. It's been ransacked, her crib overturned. On the wall, written in what looks like lipstick. Ask Maya about Sarah. My phone rings, an unknown number. Hello, Sophia. A woman's voice, unfamiliar. We need to talk about Ryan. Who is this? His first wife. She pauses. The one he thinks is dead. The world tilts. Sarah Matthews? Meet me at Riverside Park, 1 hour. Come alone. Sarah's alive? Chloe asks when I hang up. Apparently nothing about Ryan is real. I hand her Olivia's carrier. Take her to your place. I need to… No. Chloe blocks the door. This is exactly what he wants. To separate us, make you vulnerable. If Sarah's alive, she's the key to everything. Or she's working with Ryan. Think, Sophia. Why now? Why alone? My phone buzzes again, Maya. Ryan's men are following me. The kids are scared. Please help. Another text arrives immediately after. From Ethan. Sarah Matthews' death certificate was forged, but so was the marriage license. She wasn't Ryan's wife. She was his partner. The pieces click together with horrifying clarity. Call Miranda, I tell Chloe. Now. But it's too late. Headlights flood the room as vehicles surround the house. Through the window, I see Sarah Matthews step out of a car, very much alive, looking nothing like her photos. Behind her, Ryan emerges, free of police custody. Sophia, he calls out. We need those documents, all of them, or Maya's children might have an unfortunate accident. He's lying, Chloe whispers. Maya's not answering her phone. I check my security cameras remotely. Maya and her kids are being held in Ryan's office downtown. Sarah Matthews stands on my porch, holding what looks like custody papers. 1 hour, Ryan shouts. Or I start dismantling everything you love, just like you tried to do to me. Olivia begins to cry, a thin wail that cuts through the chaos. I look at my daughter, then at the evidence that could destroy Ryan, then at Maya's children on my phone screen. I won't let him hurt any more families, I say. Sophia, get Olivia out through the back. I'll handle this. And do what? I pull out my phone, dialing Miranda's number. What Ryan taught me. Sacrifice one family to save another. As Chloe slips away with my crying daughter, I open the front door to face Ryan and Sarah. Sometimes I realize revenge isn't about winning. Sometimes it's about choosing which battle to lose. Ryan's office feels like a tomb, all glass and steel and secrets. Maya and her children huddle in the corner, watched by Sarah Matthews, the woman who started it all. The USB drive feels heavy in my pocket as I face them both. The documents, Ryan says, hand extended. First, let them go. He laughs, but it doesn't reach his eyes. You're not in a position to negotiate. Neither are you. I pull out my phone, showing him the live stream. Everything happening here is being broadcast to the police, your board of directors, and every major news outlet. Sarah steps forward, her heels clicking on marble. Turn it off. Why? Afraid people will learn how you and Ryan have been running this con together? How many families have you destroyed as a team? Ryan's smile falters. Sarah, check her phone. It's not about the phone. I turn to Maya. Did you know Sarah was never really his wife? She's his partner. They find wealthy families, infiltrate them, then strip them bare. Maya clutches her children closer. Ryan? Don't listen to her. Sarah snaps. She's desperate. Tell them about the others. I press. The women before me. Before Maya. How you played the grieving widower while Sarah played dead, only to resurrect herself for the next con. Ryan moves suddenly, grabbing my arm. Enough. The police are already questioning your other victims. The ones who survived, the ones who lost everything. Give me the drive, he growls. I pull it from my pocket. You want it? Take it. But first, explain something. I turn to Sarah. Why did you really come back? After all this time pretending to be dead? Sarah's composure cracks. Ryan, we need to. Because he's doing it again. I continue. Isn't he? Setting you up to take the fall just like he did with Ethan's sister. With Maya. With me. Ryan's grip tightens. Sarah, don't. The Singapore accounts, Sarah says suddenly. Show me the transfers. Sarah. Ryan's voice holds real fear now. 3 days ago, I tell her, he moved everything. But not to your shared accounts, to new ones, without your name. The room goes still. Maya's oldest child, Zoe, breaks the silence. Mom, I'm scared. You should be, Sarah says, pulling out her phone. Because your precious Ryan was planning to leave us all behind. Weren't you, darling? Ryan releases my arm, turning to Sarah. We can explain everything at home. Home? Sarah laughs bitterly. Which one? The one you bought with Maya or the one you promised me in Singapore? There's no money left, I say quietly. He's already moved it. All of it. Check your accounts. Sarah's fingers fly over her phone. Her face goes pale. You bastard, she whispers. Ryan lunges for the door, but it bursts open before he reaches it. Miranda enters with 2 police officers, followed by Ethan. Ryan Chen, one officer starts. You're under arrest. For what? Ryan sneers. Everything I did was legal. Every transfer, every account. Not Sarah's death certificate, Ethan cuts in. Not the forged documents, and definitely not what you did to my sister. As the officers move forward, Ryan looks at me with something like respect. You orchestrated all this. No, I say. You did. I just learned from your playbook. Divide and conquer. Turn allies against each other. The perfect con. They lead him away, Sarah following in handcuffs. Maya approaches me, her children clinging to her legs. I'm sorry, she whispers. I didn't know. None of us did. That was the point. She hesitates. What happens now? I look at her children, thinking of Olivia. Now we rebuild. Without him. The money is safe. I pull out another USB drive. This one has the real accounts. The ones he didn't know I found. Enough for all of us to start over. Maya's eyes fill with tears. Why would you help us? Because we're all victims of the same con. I hand her the drive. And sometimes the best revenge is making sure he has nothing left to come back to. As they leave, I stand alone in Ryan's office, surrounded by the wreckage of his carefully constructed lies. My phone buzzes. Chloe, with a photo of Olivia sleeping peacefully. Sometimes winning isn't about destroying your enemy. Sometimes it's about saving what they never valued in the first place. The courtroom feels smaller than I remember. Ryan sits at the defendant's table, still wearing his expensive suits, still wearing his masks. But something's different now. The confidence has cracked, revealing glimpses of desperation underneath. I adjust Olivia in my arms as I take the witness stand. She's heavier now, more solid, more real than any of Ryan's carefully constructed lies. Mrs. Chen, the prosecutor begins, please tell the court about the document you discovered in your husband's private safe. Ryan shifts in his chair. He knows what's coming. It was a DNA test, I say, my voice steady, for Maya's oldest daughter, Zoe. The gallery stirs. Maya clutches Zoe's hand tighter. And what did this test reveal? That Zoe is Ryan's biological daughter. I look directly at Maya. From before he met either of us, the truth lands like a physical blow. Maya's other children, Noah and Lily, press closer to their mother. But Zoe sits perfectly still, wearing an expression I recognize from my own mirror. The look of someone whose world is being rewritten. Your Honor, Ryan's lawyer stands. This is irrelevant to the charges. It establishes pattern, the prosecutor counters. Mr. Chen's history of manipulating families, hiding children, creating and abandoning new identities. Objection. But it's too late. The damage is done. I watch Ryan's mask slip further as he realizes what I've known since finding that test. His greatest weapon was always family, both creating and destroying it. After the verdict, I find Maya and her children in the courthouse hallway. Zoe stands slightly apart from her siblings now, studying her reflection in the window. I'm sorry, I tell Maya. About everything. She shakes her head. You saved us. All of us, she looks at Zoe. Even if the truth hurts. What will you do now? Start over, somewhere new. She manages a small smile. The money you recovered, it's enough for all of us to begin again. Zoe turns from the window. Will I have to see him? Now that he's my... She can't finish the sentence. I kneel beside her, Olivia babbling softly in my arms. That's your choice. Always your choice. She studies Olivia's face, perhaps looking for traces of their shared father. She's my sister. Yes, but he's not my dad. Her voice hardens with certainty. Noah and Lily's dad raised me. He loved me. That's what matters. From the mouth of children, sometimes the deepest truths emerge. Later, as I'm leaving, Ethan stops me. Sarah Matthews made a deal. She's naming names, dates, accounts, other victims. How many? Dozens, across 3 continents. He hesitates. They found his next target, too. A woman in Singapore. She had 2 kids. Had. The word echoes. Another family he'll never destroy now. At home, I find an envelope slipped under my door. Inside is a letter from Ryan's first victim. The real one before Sarah, before the cons became sophisticated. Her words are few but powerful. Thank you for finishing what I couldn't. Olivia fusses, ready for her evening routine. As I rock her, I think about cycles. How they continue until someone finds the courage to break them. Ryan thought he was creating perfect circles, endless loops of destruction. He never understood that circles can become spirals, leading somewhere new. Chloe comes over with dinner and questions about the future. But for once, I'm not interested in planning ahead. The present feels enough. My daughter's weight in my arms, the knowledge that Maya and her children are safe, that Ryan's other victims are finally finding their voices. Was it worth it? Chloe asks. The revenge? I look at Olivia, then at the photo of Maya's children on my phone. At Zoe, who shares my daughter's blood but chose her own definition of family. It wasn't revenge, I realize. It was revolution. The night deepens around us, but I don't feel the darkness anymore. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't in destroying your enemy, but in protecting what they never understood. The fierce, unbreakable bonds between mothers and children, between sisters born of betrayal, between women who refuse to be written out of their own stories. Ryan thought he was writing our endings. Instead, he gave us all new beginnings.